Hey everyone, so I just wanted to
Yeah, yeah,
go
mid the
over
market.
the new patch notes for patch
I'm gonna go to the.
404
I'm going
with
for
the
one
new
here. You
app
gotta look mid.
coming out and all these agent changes. I just want to make a
Right
huge
up.
thank you to
Nice.
everyone who supported me recently.
110 on
I
kick.
gained 8 subscribers in 3
Spike
days, which
down
is just
mid.
crazy. 2 of my videos are past 7K, and I just want to
One
give a huge
enemy
thank you to
remaining.
that.
Nice.
Anyways,
What
let's get into
the?
it. So first off, I wanted to start out with Omen. Now, of course, Astra has been the main smoke agent in pro play, but I think Omen is going to make a huge comeback. His cooldown for the new smoke has decreased to 30 seconds, though the cost has increased. His projectile speed is way faster. With the Shroud step, it's decreased the cost, and the pre-teleport delay is also decreased. Next up, we got Brimstone here. Now, the deploy time has been decreased by an entire second. The smoke radius is slightly increased, which is great. And his smoke height is also increased to match other controllers, because I believe his smoke was a little bit lower. And now his stim beacon isn't completely useless too. It also applies a 15% speed boost, the same amount of time as the rapid fire, which is going to be great for him in the meta. Next up, we got Astra. Now, this is a huge change, but Astra's max stars have been reduced from 5 to 4. The cooldown on retrieving a star has been increased by 11 seconds, so this is already huge. She can also pick up stars during the buy phase and they'll return immediately, and the maximum distance of star placement has increased 3 times. Also with her Gravity Well and Nova Pulse, the cooldown has increased from 25 to 45 seconds, with the Gravity Well size decreasing from 525 to 475, which isn't too bad, and it will no longer affect anyone underneath it. And same goes with the Nova Pulse. With the Nebula, the cooldown has been increased by 11 seconds. The cooldowns are now sequential instead of simultaneous, and with also the size increasing of it. And just a couple of minor things with her ring, but I think this is definitely going to change the meta. And now for all of those Viper mains. Fuel Drain has increased when Toxic Screen and Poison Cloud are both active by 50%. Her fuel bar also turns red when she doesn't have enough fuel to activate her abilities. With the Toxic Screen and Poison Cloud, the activating time has increased by 2 seconds. The timer now starts when her smoke starts displaying, instead of when the deactivation telegraph plays. Both the Poison Orb and Toxic Screen has a yellow light to indicate when it's on cooldown, and it's also a remove delay on disabling when Viper is suppressed. And now when she's suppressed, it will now make a unique voice line that'll play to have your teammates acknowledge that your smoke is going down. The duration of the snake bite has decreased by an entire second. So all those Vipers that like to rotate, you might want to have to time that a little quicker. But I don't think it'll be that bad of a nerf. And finally, we have Yoru with this giant buff. He has a decoy. Instead of 2, it'll be 1. The decoy is a full running version of Yoru, but it can only be sent forward. You can also, just like the footsteps, right click and it will place a stationary marker. It will react similarly to the footsteps, and the decoy will run forward just like I stated before. And this is actually really cool, but when an enemy kills the decoy, instead of taking damage, it will do a bit of a flash. And same with the basic flashes, the enemies will be immediately flashed. Now with the gate crash, this is completely huge. There's 2 charges of the gate crash. One you get for free, one it costs 200 credits. And the cooldown charge has been removed, and it's now a 2-kill reset. If you want to fake it, you just have to hover over it and press F, and a teleport audio will play. It takes time, and also I've heard Yoru players say that it hasn't affected anything, but the teleport beacon has been decreased by a whole second, so you should teleport really fast. There's a 10-meter decrease on the radius where you can hear his beacon traveling with an increase on the teleport speed. The only downside about faking is it will create a small decal on the floor for an entire 30 seconds, so that way if enemies walk past, they can see. It's a fake TP. Now, I think this is probably the biggest thing with Yoru. With his ult, the duration has been increased by an entire 2 seconds, and he's not revealed to enemy. Now, with all the Yoru shorty users, his footsteps can be heard within 15 meters of his location. So instead of the ring popping up around him, you can just hear his footsteps. So it's kind of like the Reyna dismiss. There was a delay with casting the ult, and now he's invulnerable immediately. Now, last but not least, we have all of the Icebox changes. Now, with Ascent, V-Orb can now be taken from the lower box, instead of having to double jump up to it. That's only a change on Ascent, which I like for attackers, because then there's not just one guy struggling to get the orb. There has been a change in attacker side on Icebox B site, where instead of peeking from the right side only with the doorway has completely turned around. So that's going to be interesting because you can basically peek from 2 areas. You can be a little bit sneaky on defender side with the shorty if you're quick enough, or you have someone to mask your footsteps. So now the doorway next to the green lane is a little bit bigger, and it'll give the attackers a better approach, and it is also slightly widened. Now, in my opinion, this is a huge change. For Icebox B site, the yellow crate has been moved vertically instead of it being at an angle, which is going to be interesting for attackers to take cover behind on post plant, but we'll see how that works out. And then also, instead of there being a little bit of an inside part on the B site, there's still the top area, but they've removed the rope, and also it's more of a cubby screen type thing inside of the bottom area, which I'm excited to see how that'll work out. And also with the entire runway area, I'm not exactly sure what to call that, it's now completely blocked off with a door. They have made the kitchen back wall a little bit wider to make it more comfortable to play in the space up there. They have added a little bit more cover from going under tube to mid, which is great for attackers and defenders when the attackers are playing post plant. And it seems that they've also changed mid too. Instead of the ramp being exactly in the middle, it's now a little bit more to the right. So that's going to be interesting of how the defender side will play that. On A site, instead of there being a tinier green box thing with a ledge, now it's just a normal green box that you can wall bang, which is going to be nice covers for the defenders. Maybe you can hide behind that and see how that works. Also with pipes, you can't jump right on it from the attacker side, so that will definitely give defenders an edge too. And the head peek from playing screens post plant, you can't really peek from there anymore to mid. But yeah, that's everything you guys need to know for the new act. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and subscribe for more content like this.
Out. Flashing.
Night.
One enemy remaining.
3 souls.